Hello, everyone. If you are further back, please come on in. This is a fireside chat. After all, you want to keep warm by the fire. We have not that many people in the room, but we do have hundreds that are joining us virtually. The USA has woken up, and due to time zones, it works in our favor. We've got lots of our US friends tuning in. Hello to our US friends. I won't get you to scream because there's not that many people here, because we've had a long day, and I think a lot of people are probably in their beds right now. But we've got a nice amount of people here, and there's still more coming in. Come on in. Come round to the front. Keep warm by the fire. Very good. Okay, I'm going to take this out. Very good. I've got a lot of wires attached to me. Okay. Good, good, good. Right. Well, Stevie Boebi, come up and join me. Let's chat by the fire. Stevie, everyone.
Hello.
Well, hello. So this is actually...
my mic working? Oh my God. Hi. It's weird. I've never had one like on a stage, a lavalier. I've always held a mic, but
how's it feel?
Oh my God. I feel like it's the first time that it's been accessible for me to hold a mic.
Fantastic. I love it. Is the fire temperature all right for you?
It's a little cold. Can we turn it up?
Can we turn up the fire, please, AV? Can you do that for us? I mean, actually, genuinely, has anyone else been freezing in here today? Right? I think we need to talk to the hotel and get them to make it warmer. So this is actually our first fireside chat we've done at a conference. And I can't think of anyone better to do it with than Stevie.
Yes, I refuse to stand up, so.
Me too, totally.
All day, all the presenters, I was like, how are y'all standing up for an hour?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Respect.
I'm so tired right now. I don't know what I'm running on, but I'm here for this. I'm here for the musical. It's going to be good. And, you know, I think this topic, let's be perfectly queer. As a gay person, I love that we are able to sit here on this stage and have this conversation, because...
They let us outside now. So cool.
It's amazing, really. I mean, fantastic. And, you know, I often get people come up to me and say, I feel safe because it's so lovely to know that the CEO of the organization is someone from the LGBTQ plus community. And sometimes that takes me back, because I'm like, I never thought of that. You know, I don't go around every day thinking about my identity always being as a gay woman, or even just being as a CEO. It's just you exist, and then you forget that your position actually impacts a lot of people. And, you know, I want to talk to you about that, because obviously you have a big online presence, and you share your experiences with living with EDS, with your sexuality, with your identity. And I want to know how your journey with EDS has kind of influenced the content that you create online on your YouTube channels, particularly in terms of raising awareness about the condition.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you had a great point. It's like, you don't actually have to like do activism to like make a difference, just like existing in a space. And a lot of times you kind of forget that you're doing that by just existing, but it is really cool. I want to make so many more videos about EDS, but I haven't really made that many. But I started making videos in like 2006, and I was in the closet as a lesbian, but also as having EDS and being polyamorous. I feel like I just keep coming out. Like, I'm gonna find out a new identity that I have today, probably. But yeah, I think, so I got diagnosed in 2018, and then made a video about my diagnosis. Yeah, and then now I guess I'm an activist.
And what do you think shifted to make it feel safe for you to come out in all of those different ways? What was the trigger for you?
Oh God, well, for 8 years I was in and out of doctors and emergency rooms, and they just told me it was anxiety, and I believed them. That's what makes me the maddest now, is like, how did I believe them? That's so fucked up. Sorry, PG-13, everyone.
We're good. We can swear, right? We're good with the swearing? There we go.
So yeah, I wasn't scared to like come out online as having EDS. I think I was scared before I had the diagnosis. And like in retrospect, it's like, oh, well, I should have come out when I diagnosed myself. But yeah, I don't think it was as scary. I mean, even to this day, I still gaslight myself all the time. Like literally my inner voice is like, yeah, but you're lying though. What? Like, it's been so many years of like confirmation of diagnosis, but I still have that voice in my head that's just like, oh, right, but like you made it up, you know? And I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Totally. I mean, that feeling of validation, I talk about it all day long, and I know so many people suffer from it. And also, I find that within the community as well, sometimes there's such a vast spectrum of experiences that it's hard to represent everyone, you know, and everyone's experience. And that could be geographical, it could be race, it could be gender. Everyone's experience, everyone's symptoms are different. And, you know, sometimes you even see that there can be fragmentation within the society, and that can be LGBTQ plus society, it can be a society from a health condition that you're suffering from. So it can sometimes, the community that you lean on, it can also be a scary place as well. So I think, you know, there's sometimes, it takes a lot to really put yourself out there online, onto these platforms, and talk about that.
I forgot that heteros can have EDS until today. I've met so many straight people today, and I was like, hang on a minute, that's the case? But also, like, you feel like you're in an echo chamber a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, are they straight? Is that still a thing? You know what I mean?
Are you here to turn people as well? Is that
No, they just don't exist. I'm kidding.
So, I mean, as a prominent queer influencer, how do you think that your visibility as a proud lesbian woman with EDS contributes to breaking those stereotypes and promoting inclusivity within both communities?
Yeah, I think, well, like I said, I feel like, aren't you, the disabled community is more queer than the non-disabled community, just like a higher percentage. So I feel like my queerness in the disabled community is completely, you know, welcomed and expected almost. But a lot of pride events, a lot of queer stuff is just not accessible. So I think from going from, like, I did lesbian sex ed online, and then coming out is, so now I'm lesbian and disabled. I think a lot of people felt seen and I don't know, like, oh, I'm allowed to be disabled and still go to pride events, which I think a lot of people are scared of. And I was for so long. I still, like, you know, struggle a little bit. Like, no, get your anger out and tell them that they have to make this accessible or whatever, you know.
And I mean, obviously, thinking about that, you do use your platform to discuss important and sometimes controversial topics.
Love being provocative.
How do you navigate addressing issues related to queer rights and sexual orientation, but also being an advocate for individuals living with EDS? And you've said that you feel like they complement each other. Do you ever feel like they go against each other?
No, God, no. I think that everything is better when more people are included. When things are inclusive, it's not only better for the people that you're including now, it's also better for everyone else. Like, accessibility is better for everyone. So yeah, I think I was a little worried before I came out as disabled to, like, incorporate disability stuff, like, in my sex education content. But, you know, after I came out, I was way more comfortable with it. And it all, like, a lot of the same themes that I put in all of my educational content just applies across the board. You know, consent, like, informed consent, no coercion, you know.
And I mean, there are so many overlaps of challenges that there are, and the queer community, in addition, faces unique challenges. And how do you approach kind of creating content that addresses those intersecting issues and then also provides education to those who might be navigating both identities?
Oh, God. That's hard. I don't know. I think that, like even just a super simple theme of be yourself can, like, feel really cheesy, but can apply in so many different ways. And, like, there's ways to, like, insert just ways to include people in a video about scissoring, you know what I mean? Like, I can make that secretly, like, disability awareness by making jokes or making people feel included or seen. So I don't know, but also, like you were saying at the very beginning, just, like, existing is, like, such a big thing for a lot of people. And like, I don't know, maybe I could be doing more. I just, like, I don't think about it too hard. I'm just like, let's talk about positions, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've also collaborated with other content creators. And that's kind of allowed for powerful conversations and connections. And how do you think you see those collaborations contributing to overall awareness and acceptance of both EDS and, again, your experience of living as a lesbian woman? Do you feel like that collaboration is power?
Yeah, so like before, I mean, if it wasn't for my EDS friends, I don't think I would still now know that I had EDS. Like one day I just was sick of being sick and then everyone telling me it was anxiety, that I just like listed every symptom I'd ever had. It was so random. And people reached out to me, like a lot of disabled influencers reached out to me and was like, let's hang out. They didn't say, you have EDS, which I wish they did. Like, so now I just walk around telling people they have EDS and I don't care because I wish someone would have done that to me.
There needs to be more doctors out there doing that.
Yeah, so then it took, I think, a year of like being friends with disabled creators who had EDS before I straight up was like, hang on a minute, do you think I have EDS? And every single one of them was like, yes. Why didn't you tell me? What is going on? But yeah, I do a lot of collaborations with other disabled influencers. I mean, I should do more, but you know, COVID. But yeah, I think for a lot of people, it can feel really isolating, especially if you're the only disabled person that's in your friend group or in your family or whatever. And I think seeing that, I don't know, I made disabled friends and so can you kind of thing can maybe give people hope or ways to reach out to their local, you know, hypermobility group or disabled group to make friends so that they, you know, don't feel alone or find people who understand.
And so I hear the US accent, but I believe you are living here in the UK.
Yeah, I know, so confusing. I live in England, but I have an American accent.
And so you got your diagnosis living in the UK or in the US?
No, I got diagnosed in the US.
Okay.
In 2018, and then accidentally immigrated here in 2020.
Just by accident, and ended up here.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking a bit about how the navigating of that diagnostic odyssey was for you and how you finally got to that point of getting to the right doctor and getting that diagnosis?
Yeah, so I had to threaten my doctor to get diagnosed, but this was after I'd like made, you know, EDS friends who were also influencers for like over a year before I was like, hang on a minute, you think I have EDS? But I don't look like you, or we have different symptoms or whatever. So then I got some really, really good advice from my Black women friends who were like, this is how you demand care, and that was so cool. And I'd been denied 3 times, so I asked my doctor at the time to put that in writing, give me a copy of it, and then she sent the referral without responding to me, and then I went to a geneticist, and he diagnosed me.
And how did it change things for you, having that diagnosis and that answer?
God, so much. Changed everything. It changed everything because every single day I learned more because this condition is not like cut and dry and black and white, and every single person presents so differently, and you could just tomorrow have a brand new thing that you've never heard of, which also contributes to making me think I'm making it up. But I forgot the question you just said.
It's just that power of diagnosis, I think.
Yeah,
you know,
it did change completely everything.
It can.
Because from when I was 10 years old, I was told that I was having panic attacks. I was never having panic attacks. I had POTS.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like prescribed Xanax for however long for POTS, which makes no sense. So now I can understand why this is a trigger for this type of headache or this digestive issue, and how like wearing a heart monitor to make sure my heartbeat doesn't get too fast so that then I can avoid all of the other stuff instead of being on Xanax. Like what?
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember I had a 12-year kind of diagnostic odyssey, which is unfortunately quite common, and the average time to diagnosis actually for most people in our community. And I found that day was one of the best days of my life in the end, because you finally had answers and you finally had a reason for all of these things you were experiencing and being told it's in your head. You know, I remember very clearly I must have been 14, you know, quite young, 15 maybe, and a doctor looked at me in his consulting room and said, if you were a dog, we'd put you down.
What?
And I was a teenager. And it made such an impact on me, that statement. And you were just made to feel like you were this problem person that had all these symptoms that if you were an animal, they'd put down. I mean, who says
But he said
that?
that when he diagnosed you?
No.
Oh,
That
right
was, I
before.
wasn't diagnosed till I was 24.
Oh my God.
And so those kind of statements, they stay with you, you know? And so then when you get that diagnosis, most people think, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But it's actually a relief, right? Because I'd much rather hear that than, yeah, we'd put you down.
Yeah.
And I think that so many medical professionals who see that there's no cure, there's no treatment, there's not much access to even management that's out there, often question, why is it so important to have that diagnosis? And I think people don't realize the power of that validation and those answers.
And knowing what is something to be concerned about and something that isn't to be concerned about, right?
Absolutely.
Because when your body works differently, that like, there's so many things that like, it's like, oh, if you have any of these side effects, then immediately go to the emergency room. And it's like, I have those every day, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. And also approaching surgeries, like pre-diagnosis, I had so many surgeries that I would never have had. Now I have that knowledge and understanding. And so I think, you know, people's journeys and experiences are so much worsened without that education knowledge. So I do definitely always push that as much as possible, that diagnosis is everything.
Yeah.
So someone, you know, you've created content with multiple people that you've dated. You mentioned that you're poly, and I mean.
All right, my wife is here.
Okay, sorry. She helped me with my iPad, so I don't want to offend you in any way.
He's the IT guy.
So how has that personal journey and that experience influenced your approach to relationships and intimacy with having that kind of disabled EDS lens added to it? And how do you address those unique challenges? Because they must arise in all aspects of your life, in the dating and the intimacy, the physical side of things. How does that work?
Yeah, I think that the advice that I would give someone that's not disabled in dating is almost the same that I would give someone who is disabled in dating, because communication is so important, and making sure you're not dating a piece of shit is so important, whether you're disabled or not, you know, so, but people do tell me that, like, they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, you had so many girlfriends, like, it gives me hope that I can have one day, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know, I think a lot of the things people have said today in their presentations on advocating for yourself and finding accomplices and allies, like you can be looking for that in your partner, not necessarily just doctors and friends and family members.
Yeah, and IT support.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what would you share as kind of one particular achievement or moment that you are most proud of? And how has it furthered your mission of supporting individuals with EDS, but equally promoting queer visibility?
Oh God, okay, I'm gonna say it. The thing that I'm most proud of is, and it's not even something I did really, I just said in a video, I was giving advice to anyone who felt like they had a lot of the symptoms that I had in my video where I announced that I had been diagnosed, and I said, doctors are dickheads. And some doctors started commenting saying, how dare you, got really offended by that. And then people on Twitter took the hashtag and made it go viral, and now it's been published in a journal of medicine about like this study on the backlash where it was like hashtag patients are dickheads, and like this whole thing that's got so much bigger than me that I accidentally started. I think that's what I'm most proud of. It's just so
It's a
cool.
good thing to be proud of.
Yeah,
that's very,
like
very
thousands
cool.
of people telling their stories about like medical mistreatment and gaslighting and trauma and like really dark shit. And so many doctors reached out to me being like, thank you so much. I'm learning so much. It's so cool. So yeah, you can still check it out. Hashtag Doctors are Dickheads.
Go check it out. Get it viral again. So your YouTube channels, they kind of provide a safe and sex-positive environment. How do you balance those discussions around sexuality and relationships, but ensuring that content remains inclusive and supportive for individuals with diverse experiences, one of them being EDS, but of course many others?
Yeah, I mean, I am not even close to perfect. I mess up all the time. I've had to apologize so many times. I don't think there is such a thing as being able to make a perfect piece of content that is like inclusive to everyone, or, I mean, maybe it's attainable, and I think that I'm learning every day, and I'm trying to like, you know, just make the next content I make better than the last. So yeah, but at the same time, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm perfect, or like, and I'm not saying I should be your role model ever. And I think that just being yourself, like that song in the early 2000s, I was like a young girl talking about herself. That's all I do. And, you know, girls talking about themselves can change the world.
Amen to that, absolutely. And what message, if you had one message, would you like to convey to individuals living with EDS or HSD who also identify as a member of the LGBTQ plus community? Like, how do they find strength, support, empowerment through your shared experience and advocacy efforts?
Oh, God, I have no idea. One piece of advice. No idea. There's so many of us out there, I guess.
There are.
You also prepared me with this question, and I'm literally drawing a blank.
I mean, it's a big question.
Yeah, I had to pick one thing. You're not alone. Yeah, there's so many of us. Most of us are lesbians, I think. I'm going to do a poll here.
I mean, how many people in this room identify as LGBTQ+?
Out yourself.
There you go. It's a pretty good number.
That's a lot. See, I wasn't wrong.
It's a pretty good number. I mean, you know, there's a lot over here. And, you know, I think that that's amazing. And you know, is it that there is more people living with EDS and HSD who are also from this community, LGBTQ+? Or is it that there's just lots of gay and queer people are out there, and you know, that's just the numbers? And
I think we haven't found the straights yet. We need to start hanging out with them more. We need to make more hetero friends, invite them to, and then tell them, hey, can you do this? You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm grateful for whatever reason it is that there are more people that are in our community that are also impacted by this condition, or that it's just numbers, and there's a lot of EDS and HSD, and there's a lot of LGBTQ+. But what I'm grateful for, and actually I'm proud of, I have to say, is that we've created a safe space for all of those people. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I'm delighted you've been here to talk to me. Now, my last question to you is, and I'm going to put you on the stock, and I didn't prepare you for this one.
Oh, God,
it's your first EDS conference.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Great, I'm so excited.
Did you enjoy today?
I love Learning Conference.
Highlight of today?
Highlight of today. Oh my God, I really don't want to mispronounce her name. Dr. Cadet?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
That was so amazing.
Yeah.
I loved her whole presentation. She's hilarious.
She is.
I can't wait to chat with her.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. Well, listen, this is one of my highlights. I'm so grateful that you were here. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for everyone tuning in online. Thank you for your honesty, sharing your story with me. And that's the end of our Fireside Chat.